boring stuff like that.
You know that Homer, are you a fan of the Homer Goes to College?
Oh, yeah. As a jock.
It's my job to make fun of it. Yeah, that thing where the guy reacts.
Did you see that nerd? Pardon me?
I feel like we do that pardon me all the time.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Here we go. This is Giles Edwards from 366 Weird Movies. Last night I had the pleasure of seeing for the very first time hundreds of beavers. And with me this afternoon in the main auditorium are two of the driving forces behind that motion picture.
I'm Mike Cheslik. I'm the director of the film. I also edited it and did some visual effects shots.
And I'm Ryland Brickson Cole Tews. I'm the fallen star of the picture, co-writer and producer.
All right, well, it was a delight to witness, and I have for you, briefly, a pantheon that you have joined. 1920 brought us Nosferatu. 1939 brought us Wizard of Oz. 1953 brought us Vertigo. 1968 brought us 2001: A Space Odyssey. 1986 brought us the dark classic Blue Velvet. 2002, Adaptation. 2019, The Lighthouse. And now, at last, in 2023, we have hundreds of beavers joining 366's exclusive must-see club.
My God.
Wow.
You've made a horrible mistake.
We don't make mistakes. Certainly not me. I only read that review.
Well, this is a great honor. I first of all want to say, on behalf of the Beaver team, except the fight choreographer John Trey, who I do not include in this statement, on behalf of the entire Hundreds of Beavers team, we accept, and we are grateful for this honor, and we hope that one day we can be ousted by a better film, because I assume there's a limited number of films on this list, or it's just given out whenever?
It is a very slowly growing list, so
Okay.
we haven't kicked anyone off that this pedestal that we've put them on, but you are one of the very few recent additions for this designation.
My God.
Well, we accept, and this is an incredible honor. So happy to be back with you, Giles. It's a pleasure to see you again after all these years. I think it's been 20 years since our first film. It's good to be back. And I'm speechless. I'm speechless, and I'm appreciative of this honor.
Well, I hope you overcome that as we pursue some questions
That's
about
an
the
interview, Mike. You gotta speak.
I feel speechless, but I'm working through it. I'm muscling through it.
Well, we appreciate that. So I guess I'll start with a broad question that I'm sure will allow us to branch off in whatever number of directions we care to pursue. You dodged it last night at the Q&A, but the inception of this particular vision, why hundreds of beavers? Why beavers? Obviously, you, after Lake Michigan Monster, you were keen to make a romantic comedy, and so you did. So I saw last night. That love story, almost as important, indeed, a driving factor toward the pursuit of hundreds of beavers, soon to be playing near you.
Well, that's right. We did not tell this story at the Q&A because we wanted this to be a Giles exclusive.
That's right.
And first of all, let me just say, Ryland and I both believe in love, in true love.
Yes.
And it started from there, at a bar, at the Milwaukee
A
Film
common
Festival.
misconception is that we are lovers, and we are not. We do not like each other one bit. I just want to get that out
It's
of the way.
more like the Mythbusters guys, you know,
Yeah.
where he's like, I respect him, I respect what he does,
But-
you know, but he's the guy in the front of the A-wing, and I'm the guy that does the tow cables, and we're just, we have to do a job together. But the inception of Beavers really started for me as a small child, reading Calvin and Hobbes, when they would have snow-based visual gags in the Calvin and Hobbes. There's also the Donald Duck cartoon with snow-based visual gags. There's also Abbott and Costello, Hit the Ice. Abbott and Costello, Lost in Alaska, Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, Road to Utopia. The comedies that take place in the snow, I think, constitute a genre of slapstick, a subgenre of slapstick called snow stick. And I've always felt very passionate about snow stick growing up in the Midwest, but there's very few films in this genre. And we wanted to make the 5th and final snow stick film. Oh, this also, of course, includes the Gold Rush.
Yes.
And I think there's actually a Quebecois, like, snowball movie that I haven't seen. But
That's the title of it.
The famous Quebecois snowball movie, except in French. Filmed as snowball.
I should have come to the interview with more information. That film I'm trying to remember the name of was not an influence. I have not seen it. I had heard about it, I think, on the internet. But let me just say, I was talking to my friend, Ryland Tews, my great friend who I love, at the Milwaukee Film Festival in 2018 at the premiere of Lake Michigan Monster. And through Bar Talk, the script of Hundreds of Beavers emerged. And we acted like it was already happening. And a group of our friends from Wisconsin formed around us like a Voltron into one team. And that team is what you see before you.
I think it was more like a Megazord.
Now, for those of you not paying for the video version of 366weirdmovies.com, there is a team of 30 people behind us that all worked on the film. Feel free to ask any of them questions as well. It's not just Ryland and I alone in a lobby where they're doing construction. The whole team is here, and I'd be happy to answer for any of them, or ask them, and we'll hear their real voice answering.
Yes, indeed, they are responsible for most of the ambient background noise as they're doing their background 30-person team kind of things. Now, Ryland, this is a major shift in performance for you as a romantic lead as opposed to Captain Seafield, who was a bit more slapstick. Would you care to talk about any inspirations or any training you undertook to so capably express yourself in effectively a silent film?
Well, there was nothing specific, really. Mike just sort of told me what to do, and I just sort of did it, you know.
You can try and keep Giles from getting the scoop here, Ryland, but Giles is going to get the scoop. So I don't know why you think you're going to dance around and not give him a good scoop.
I'm trying to, look, we went up there, and basically, I will say this. It helped a lot that we all grew up in Wisconsin, and, you know, during the winter time, that was a big part of it. You definitely need to be used to the snow and the cold. And I will say there aren't too many other guys who would have been able to do this role, just because you are naked in the snow for a lot of it, and it's kind of miserable for a lot of it. But as far as the actual acting is concerned, that was actually the easiest part about the entire production, because there was so much lugging heavy shit through the snow, 2-3 feet of snow with 4 or 5 guys on set, you know, loading up the equipment van, all that stuff. So when it actually came time to actually shoot the movie, we had everything set up and ready, and I was in front of the camera, and Mike would say, "Okay, Ryland, you're scared." And I would go, "Whoa!" And he'd say, "Great, cut, moving on." So it wasn't actually that difficult.
Well, because Ryland is he's head of the Teamsters on the shoot as well as being the main actor. So he's kind of just like driving the truck and doing all the lugging, and because there's only like 4 people on this set at any time, and it's just Ryland doing everything.
Yeah,
and I'm
so
like, I'm looking at my drawings.
I'm not trying to downplay like acting in any way, but I just you know, there was a lot of manual labor on this movie. And so by the time you actually shot the thing where you had to get like 3 seconds of information, you know, it was not nearly as difficult as all the manual labor and all the planning and coordinating that went along with that. So.
He asked about romance, and you immediately started talking about carrying logs through the woods.
Okay, you want to talk about romance? All right. Well, you know, this is a love story. And I don't think we've ever done a love story before.
I don't think we've ever done a love story before, no.
No.
This is your second feature?
This is our second feature. The first film is totally asexual and aromantic.
Yeah, I'd say that's.
This film exists in a world where people like each other.
That's right. That's right.
And are protective of each other. The father character, very concerned about his daughter's well-being.
Yeah. I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't let me marry her.
He's not a qualified person, but you know, I don't want to spoil the movie, but at the end of the movie, he becomes a qualified person and succeeds and saves the day and catches hundreds of beavers. And I don't want to spoil anything, but that is how the film ends.
Well, speaking of not spoiling, there are these hundreds of beavers.
Oh, let me interrupt you right there. I have a funny idea for a Giles bit, where it's like Giles is like out there like interviewing people at a film fest, and he's like, "I'm gonna get the scoop." And Giles' big question that he like corners the filmmaker and asks, and he's like, "I just have to know," and I wanted the exclusive before anyone found out. How does your movie end? All right, I'm so sorry. Go on.
Oh, thank you. Now, obviously with these hundreds of beavers, there are also other woodland animals, all very ably performed by friends and hangers-on of yours.
Yeah.
The project that is lurking artfully in the background to the foreground shenanigans of our Applejack brewer turned trapper fellow. The beaver's vision. What made you give them such a monumental task to be pursuing?
At the end of the film in the third act?
Yeah, the third act, yes, when we see them constructing their dam, we'll call it, and then we learn a bit more about that. What's up with that?
We discussed for a long time what should be in there. And have you ever heard the Tom Waits song, "What's He Building in There"?
Not even a song.
Spoken word.
Spoken word piece.
We just wanted it to feel like, what's he building in there?
Right.
And unfortunately, you eventually have to answer that in a movie. But wouldn't it be cool if you just never knew and you could just savor the mystery of, what are they building? What are these beavers up to?
What's he building in there?
You know, and so we had to decide on an answer, and we decided on one. I won't spoil the movie here, but it's a space program that the Beavers are running. At the end of the movie, they have a space program. And
A space program.
and so, I go out and see the movie. We could be lying, you don't know. At the end of the movie, yeah, what's it going to be? We landed on that, but I think we talked about other things. It's just like, what's a satisfying thing to uncover in the
Yeah.
Beaver Lodge?
Like, what is the strangest possible thing they could be doing? And once we settled on a space program, we said, oh, unfortunately, we do have to shoot this. We got to do it because it'll make the movie that much better. And it's going to be a lot more work, but we owe it to the audience. So
Well, sometimes we have ideas and we'll like laugh and think, oh, that's kind of funny. But other times we'll have a idea we both immediately like, and we get sad because we're like, oh shoot, we have to do that.
it's too good not to do. But it
we-
doesn't get us excited. We laugh for a second, and then we oh no.
Oh no, we have to do logistics and like
Yeah.
pay more people to do stuff and
And then build models and
Yeah.
do a lot more shooting. So yeah.
But all of these like crazy ideas are mostly achieved with like non-film professionals, and then there's a few film professionals
Yeah.
like later on as we raised more money in Wisconsin. So we were eventually able to hire, competent people like Quinn Hester, and then put incompetent people like Eric West, our buddy from high school, on the back burner.
Well, Eric may have been grateful at that point, considering. How long was the production for this?
It was like 12, 13 weeks in total, and it was it was over a couple of years. So we did the first winter, 2020, and then we did a second winter, 2021. And then we just had some shooting here and there throughout those couple of years, and then just a lot of post production work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I will say that the illumination of the Beavers' activities was a delightful payoff, and particularly how it tied in with the opening bit of the movie, at which point I had half forgotten how Ryland's character actually started out in this after the little 5-minute song and dance montage about Applejack.
Yeah, we're just trying to set up, setups and payoff. the
Yeah.
callbacks.
Well, it's actually that's what's nice about it too. It really feels like a whole like zero to hero, journey. So like by the time at the end when you see the little flashback at the beginning of the movie, you're like, wow, that's right. We started all the way back there. He's come so far. My God.
Yeah, there was a feel to that song which I quite liked and was actually stuck in my head for the rest of the evening and part of earlier this morning that reminded me quite a bit of C. Fielding's Shanty. Did you hire the same people to put that together for you?
I did. I hired my dad again, who, of course, played Ashcroft in Lake Michigan Monster. And it's Wayne Tews and the Seafield Monster Sextet. And they did, Dear Old Captain Seafield, and then they did the Jean Kayak song in this one. So,
If only there's a way I could listen to that on my phone.
yes. Well, you could,
But there's not. Let's move on.
John Kayak will be on Spotify
Let's
soon.
move on.
But Dear Old Captain Seafield is on Spotify, people, and YouTube. So, there you have it.
Oh, that's delightful to hear because there's a lot that goes on in that song.
Yeah.
And to have such an ordeal that our soon-to-be trapper goes through, the idyllic life he had before hundreds of beavers gave him so many troubles is instrumental in setting up that zero to hero, setting up that ambition for romance that he developed somehow having lived in that area and not having met the trader's daughter.
Like, here's the thing, Giles. Sometimes you just see a woman and she sees you, and there's chemistry right there. Don't have to say a word.
Let's talk about that woman. What's the actress's name who played? I don't think she had a name in the movie, but
The Furrier.
the Furrier's daughter.
Yeah.
She's the furrier. Her dad's the.
Oh, that's
merchant.
right. She does the
she
the
cleans-
technical side of things.
Yeah, she cleans the beavers.
Yeah. Olivia Graves. She's great. She's a big YouTube personality. She's a pole dancing witch.
And he means that in the best way.
That's literally what she
I was
is.
going to say the business card probably.
Yeah. No, she's she is a sweetheart, a great sport. We actually we used to work together at a ramen restaurant in Pasadena, and that's how we met. So we worked together, and then eventually she quit because she said, I got to focus on my YouTube thing full time. And at that point I'd known her for like a year, and I was like, your YouTube thing? She's like, yeah, I do like a YouTube channel or whatever. And then I looked it up. It's like, you have 500,000 subscribers. It's like, yeah. So I'm just going to focus on that. So anyways, so I met her working there, and we were just like, hey, we have this role. We'd love to have you for it. And she, just nails it. She's great.
Well, well, the physicality of her vocation, coupling nicely with
Well,
the
yeah, I mean-
physicality required for a silent picture such as yours.
Right.
So.
Yeah, if we were done doing silent films forever, I would say that you'd want to cast like dancers. It's like a great. People have. I mean, everyone in the movie has an interesting physicality and does something physical.
Yeah.
And it brings a unique physicality to their role.
Right.
But yeah, unfortunately, we'll never go into that bag of tricks ever again because silent films are too hard. So our next film will be two people talking in singles at a table in an apartment with drywall background.
So you will be able to do that 24-week turnaround for next year's festival.
We just want to get back to festivals, make the easiest possible film from now on, and just get back at the bar at Montreal in Fantasia.
Oh.
It's no longer about the art of it, the making of the movie. We don't care about that. We just want to get back to Montreal so we can drink more beer at McKibben's.
Yeah, we call that mumblecore.
Yeah.
Mumblecore's coming back, baby.
Oh, good. That's actually well we have it. It's not a big cast, so if you actually have some words on the trapper himself was a fascinating presence, and the trader fellow. Their names. What's up with them?
Oh yeah, so you're talking about Doug Manchesky plays the merchant. He's a regional theater star in Door County, Wisconsin. He performs at the Northern Sky Theater.
Yep.
And he co-wrote some of the shows, I believe.
Oh yeah, he's been co-writing those for years, for like 25 plus years. All original musicals, all like Wisconsin-based musicals.
And they're full musicals. They're like over 2-hour intermission, like a bunch of songs.
Really funny.
About
Yeah.
Wisconsin culture, really funny. Yeah, it's great. And he's a star. Everybody up there knows him. We were just really, really happy to have him in the film. I mean, he's way more talented than our film showcases. I don't know. I wish you could see how great he is, but we got some stuff out of him.
Yeah, no, he's great. And then we got Wes Tank, who played like the master fur trapper in it, and he is a Milwaukee guy as well, just local actor and rapper. He did the Dr. Seuss raps on YouTube. That became a viral thing for a while. So he's a good buddy of ours. And then we got Lou Rico, the strongest man in Wisconsin. Yeah, who plays, he's half Navajo Indian and then half Mexican. And we got him in there to play the Indian Mexican in the movie.
And I don't want to spoil the movie, but Lou gets on top of Ryland at one point at the end of the movie when Ryland's in the horse costume. At the end of the movie when the rocket is flying. I don't want to spoil the movie, but there's a rocket and a beaver kaiju in the space program at the end of the movie when Ryland saves the day and catches hundreds of beavers and there's a happy ending. And again, I don't want to say too much, but when Lou got on top of Ryland for that horse gag I was talking about, that Lou weighed, I think, twice as much as Ryland.
Yeah, he's a big fella. And
Muscle-bound guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean he's a real hero of the film.
That's true.
Yeah.
Certainly, I mean, at least one of the two heroes of the film there. The stunt toward the end, when the rocket program in the movie with the hundreds of beavers is going off, and they need to stop that kaiju. We're not going to mention instrumental performance from the Native American friend of Applejack.
Ryland makes it like 2 steps. And
on
then
that horse, yeah.
Gets crushed in the horse.
Yeah.
And then, I could still mess with this movie, I guess. We could give him a little Goku hair or something in that scene,
Nah, let's just move on.
Should we add things to the movie?
Please, let's move on.
We could add one more action scene to the movie, maybe. Get back in there and like...
Hey, we could make a new movie.
Hey, shut up.
So that's the human cast. Now, in regards to the animals, including, of course, the hundreds of beavers, from the inception was the route you chose, the way you have all the animal goings on. Was that the notion at the start of this bar conversation, or is that something that?
Bizarre question, Giles. Not sure I understand.
Well, I'm just trying to think because the way you have these hundreds of beavers and other animals is you don't actually use animals, you don't use animation, you have presumably actors.
Well, they're not actors.
Presumably people.
They're felons.
Presumably, you have people in costumes.
Oh, yeah. The Beaver performers, it's a deep roster of Beaver boys that get into the Beaver and they walk around in the snow and Ryland tackles them. And they're not professional mascots. They're just our buddies, except Jay Brown, who was an actual mascot at University of Minnesota Duluth. He was the Bulldog.
Yeah.
And so he brought some mascot expertise to the film. And he's also a lawyer. And there's a scene in our film where there's a beaver lawyer. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a court trial toward the end where they try Ryland for catching hundreds of beavers. And again, I don't want to say too much, but Jay is a real life mascot professionally and a lawyer professionally. And in our movie, we had a lawyer beaver character. And we did not ask Jay to play that character. It doesn't make any sense.
And he was even there that weekend.
He was there that weekend. Why didn't we just ask him? It makes no sense.
Yeah, well, the guy we got to do it, our buddy Jerry, he's just good at what he does,
Which apparently is being a mascot beaver lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what he was born to do. But yeah, it was all of our buddies playing these mascots, these aren't actors. These are just dudes who, hardy men, blue-collar guys that we knew could really take it, You're going to go up there with, in the cold and the snow, and you're going to have to put on these beaver costumes or bunny costumes or whatever, and your feet are going to get frozen, and it's going to be a little bit miserable, but you're going to be up there with your friends, so it's going to be a good time. So we basically, it was just like me reaching out to guys who I thought, they can take it, they'll have fun.
There was a whole week where it didn't go above 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which here in Celsius, I think that's negative 2,000 degrees Celsius.
I think that's right.
And
I think the exchange rate's about like USD.
It depends upon the financial market.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. Did we answer your question? I'm sorry.
Well,
I didn't understand it.
It's more like obviously it's a specific choice to have the mascot style animals Was that always going to be the
Oh,
plan?
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know what's good about it is that you can swap out the actor and you don't need to.
Yeah.
Scheduling becomes way easier. So you just say, well, Ryland's got to be there, and then whoever can be in a mascot costume. So
Yeah,
you-
I mean, like Mike played mascots, I played mascots. Anyone would get in that costume. We were talking earlier. Our production manager at one point had to jump in and be a couple animals. So it's just like whoever's around, you know. So like, at first you just have like some PA, and he thinks he's just working on another movie set, and all of a sudden they're saying, hey, PA, we need you to be a beaver. So just whoever's around,
Thank you, Max Hay, for starting out as a PA and then turning into our actor and,
Yeah,
and
and
AD.
he ended up playing every mascot in the movie.
Yeah.
every animal.
And then I was joking about Eric West before too, but he was, I don't know, this might not be interesting to people. Let's focus on
Well-
spoiling the third act more.
But the other thing too is, it was always the intention, because the thing about mascots is it's a universal language. Everyone in the world thinks it's funny when a mascot falls down and gets hurt, and so you can play this movie anywhere on Earth and they'll think it's great. And that was kind of like the thinking behind it. And again, that's why there's like no dialogue in the movie either, so it's just like all a movie done through acting.
You were thinking of the international sales. You don't have to worry about things being lost in translation.
Yeah, exactly.
You drop this in any country that's got a screen, and people can appreciate it.
Yeah.
Very shrewd business maneuver.
Yeah.
Yes, we're motivated by cash money, baby.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, and you've been flirting with this now. You've been living with this movie in increasingly refined form for some time now. What is up next for Team Beaver?
My goodness.
Well, my colleague Ryland and I have to ask ourselves, do we give Giles the exclusive on our next project? Or do we make something up on the spot?
Or are we talking?
And how would he know the difference?
Well, are we talking about 200s of beavers, or are we talking about the actual neck project?
Well, it's, we could drop the exclusive now. I'll drop a tease. I'll say that in this film, there was a fight. Ryland fights some beavers, and I don't want to say too much, but at the end of the movie, there's like a stunt fight where he fights like 6 beavers in a room, and it's like a 3-minute long, Jackie Chan fight. And I don't want to say too much, but that happens. And that was a lot of fun to shoot. And the team we had for that part of the movie was like really simpatico, and it was just fun shooting a fight. And we looked at each other afterwards and said, shall we put 9 of those in the next film? And so the plan for the future is a lot more kung fu. That's all I can say for now.
Well, we're certainly grateful for you having said as much as you did. Well, this brings me to, I think I'm feeling good about this. I feel that we've established that there are hundreds of beavers. We've established various third act situations, so you don't have to worry about the story. You can just watch what's going on and know that it'll all come together as the director has explained.
You can talk through it too. I recommend it. What's great about a silent film is you can just yammer on throughout the whole thing. Because like when we were deciding to make a silent film, Ryland said, "Oh yeah, cool. It's like a strong silent type, who like shows what to do with his actions instead of talking." And I said, "No, Ryland. The strong man is the one who yammers on like me. That's what a brave man does. This being silent and showing and speaking with action is the coward's way out." And we just wanted to make a movie criticizing this Ryland's, speaking with action mentality. And I think we succeeded in criticizing Ryland and in making a movie that makes him look foolish and benefits me financially and hurts him, his reputation.
Financially, emotionally, spiritually, sexually.
Aesthetically.
Giles, this is a great pleasure and the greatest pleasure of my life.
Well, thank you. And I have one more final question just for formality's sake. I know I asked this of you last time because I ask it of all my interview targets at the end. What's your hometown, and can you recommend a restaurant there?
Well, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I think, Giles, you'd really like 5 O'Clock Steakhouse. It's like, I'm not even going to tell you about it. Just take a one-way ticket flight to Milwaukee.
Those are some of the least suspicious tickets to buy.
One-way ticket to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, please. Giles, like, just buying a ticket at the counter instead of the internet.
Oh, are you moving there, sir? Nope, going to a steakhouse.
Is that my pile of cash with me? Ask them how much that's going to be.
Don't know how long I'll be there. Don't know when I'm coming back.
Is that cover it for you?
I'm also from Milwaukee. My favorite restaurant in Milwaukee is, I like Mater's. Go to Mater's.
Well, that was an absolute delight once again. This is Giles Edwards. We've been talking about hundreds of beavers with director and a bunch of other things in his title, and actor, and comparable number of things in his title. And thank you both very much for your time and for your delightful must-see motion picture event, Hundreds of Beavers.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for this great honor.
Thank you, Giles.
Not a spoiler. So we're very lucky that the crew is still here. We're going to have an intro by the director, Mike Cheslik, who will be right here to tell you about his fantastic movie. And I'm going to get more Beaver antics after the show.
Yes, thank you for coming. We're going to keep the Q&A so tight you won't be sick of us. Okay, promise the shortest Q&A ever. Don't even leave, because we have everybody that worked on the movie here, but 3 of them didn't do any work, and they will be called out in the Q&A. So stick around to find out who helped on the movie and who was cheating. You know who helped on the movie is all of you, because we were picturing this when we were shooting the movie. It was keeping us motivated. We were like, we have to go back to Fantasia, the greatest film festival in the world. And we were out in the cold in the north woods of Wisconsin, where we're from. It's the Canada of America. America is what we call the United States. We're all from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we worked really hard for 4 years on a movie that no one believed in. They tried to stop us, and we shut them down. Okay, thank you, Fantasia, best film fest in the world. Thank you so much. We'll see you after. We'll keep it so short. Don't leave. It'll be 90 seconds. Okay, thank you. There's no time, fastest Q&A ever. We have time for one question only. What's your question?
That was an amazing movie. I cannot wait to subject my friends to it.
Ah, thank you.
I was just trying to waste the time.
Well, we've done it. We've saved cinema. Okay. Next question. And this is the last question. We all got to get back to work.
Up there.
Work.
Up in
Yes.
the corner.
What video games? Mario Galaxy 2. Nothing else. Madison Bragg, what's your question?
Question is for Mike and Ryland. What's it like being best friends, and would you ever let there be like a Yoko Ono style breaking up of your collaborative?
First of all, that's not possible because Mike and I are enemies. I hate this man. I don't know why we made this movie. No one should make cinema.
Next question. This one also must be about friendship. And then we're wrapping it up. Everyone's got to get back to work. It's Monday. Time is money, baby.
What are you doing here?
Why are you here?
Don't any of you work?
Work. Yes. 200 of Beavers is coming out next year. We'll be back here in 1 year. We're going to film it in a week. We're writing it in a week. We're going to edit it in a week. It'll be mostly shot singles of people in apartments with drywall backgrounds. And it'll be 60 minutes, but it'll be done in time for us to come party again. Last question, Justine.
Over here.
How many outfits was on?
Originally 5, and then we, as things got rolling, we brought in money slowly in the Milwaukee area, and then once we got some money after the first heinous winter of shooting, we were able to take 5 beavers up to 6 beavers for the big production in the second winter. I would like to introduce the real star of the show, Bob Barrett. Wait a minute, who's this? You son of a bitch! What are you doing here?
Who allowed this to happen?
Oh no! We gotta take out the trash! We got a rodent problem!
You brought this guy in here.
Take out the trash, Ryland! Take out the trash! These other cats, when they fight, they like to get a low grab on the I was going to do this a long time, and he's got the right attitude about it. Very snap! And now a big round of applause for the star of the show, Bob Barrett of the to making money! Yes!
It's a metaphor for the Trump administration.
It is the whole thing. Whatever you believe is what our movie believes. Okay, last question. Yes, sir. Oh, is that?
That's right. This is Giles Edwards from 366 Weird Movies seeking the scoop.
See Giles Edwards, everybody!
Yes. Giles Edwards played the Judge Beaver. Edward Giles. Feels like it's wrapping up here. Huh?
Yeah.
Question!
Yes.
I cannot let this beaver violence stand. Support the Beavers for $30 Canadian. Boycott this movie by buying a T-shirt today.
My God. How much are they, Fidel?
$30 Canadian, 25 US.
Wow.
These are sweet, sweet low price. You cannot get this price anywhere else.
Wow. If someone were to do that, they'd really be sticking it to the man.
You could be working and making money and then spend your money.
That's a good point.
All right, seems like we need a Bob question. Real brief and not nice. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Well, we got a question from Giles Edwards, who always gets the scoop at 366weirdmovies.com. What was your question?
Thank you very kindly. You've been having a fantastic festival run. You've had 2 full houses here. What's next for Hundreds of Beavers?
Well, McKibbins. McKibbins is next, of course. And then after that, we're going to go to Europe, baby! We got to go to Sitges. We got to go to Belgium, Italy, England, Netherlands, Switzerland.
Your house.
What else
Your
is in
house.
Europe?
We will be in your kitchen holding the phone. You'll be watching it on the phone in your kitchen.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
Final question. Final question.
How many
Yes.
beavers were there actually?
There were actually 6 beavers. We answered that.
No, on screen.
There's no way of knowing. All right. Bring us home. The Minions.
That's his favorite film.
Love the Minions. Yes.
Oh, yeah, it was sort of like Minions and Animal Crossing combined. Yeah.
Very King and the Mockingbird 5, and was that when you...
You're very astute. He was fishing for a compliment. You're a very astute man. You've seen The King and the Mockingbird. Thank you for your question. It was inspired by that. Maybe the end of Petit Village, and also like the Thief and the Cobbler recobbled cut. So now we all know. Okay, what were your inspiration? All right, let's wrap it up. John, you have anything?
You have anything, John?
How do you get these things to peak? Ah!